weird to me. This is specifically related just to the dub because so Sailor Moon Crystal uses the new Vizcast as opposed to the original Cloverway like Deke cast that the original series used, and objectively they're much better. Like the dubbing is vastly superior now compared to the original.
Yeah.
But nostalgically, I still love the original dub just for how stupid it was at times. But I will say, Pegasus's voice in this is so off-putting.
It's like a little like weird.
I'm so used to like the man voice he had in the original. And now it's like this little boy voice, and I'm like, this doesn't work. It's so weird to me.
Oh yeah. Now I'm kind of remembering. I also like. I don't know. It's not that I didn't enjoy this, but like I think I would need to watch it again to fully grasp the story.
Hey guys, I'm Bill, a one-time Instagram blogger and now a podcaster.
And I'm Alex, the chaotic neutral.
And together we are the Gaming and Collecting Podcast.
A brother-sister duo.
That talks about gaming.
And also anime.
And don't forget the collecting, or sometimes.
Ah, forget it. We're just a nostalgia podcast at this point.
But anyways, guys, thanks for joining us as we discuss the games that shaped us. So, how you been?
I feel like shit. I felt like shit all week. If I sound weird, it's because I've had a cold and my voice is still.
Yeah. We normally record on Tuesdays, but we pushed it back to Friday because Alex has been sick all week. So
as you just heard,
yes,
and I'm still recovering. I'm feeling definitely better, but I'm still recovering. I have wonderful news. I forgot to mention it the last time we recorded. But I finally did it. I got a fucking tuna
in Stardew Valley.
It was the funniest part is I was talking to someone about Stardew Valley as I was playing it, and I was telling them about my tuna struggles and like how I couldn't catch the tuna, and they're like, it's so easy, and I'm like, no, it's not easy. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, I'm going to the traveling cart. I bet it's not gonna be there. And I scrolled down and there it was in the traveling cart, and I bought that fucking tuna.
And you went in,
as I saw it.
And then you went and hung out with your boy Krobus.
Fuck yeah, I did. I said thank you, every time I went and visited Krobus, it just gave me good luck for that tuna. So I did it, and now I have a town hall, and I have like all the fun. I went to the witch's hut. I've been doing all the stuff you can do until you
Yep.
town hall. So
you finally got that one tuna to finally save the town.
I did. I finally. Sorry, I finally did.
Yep.
And and then I got one in the mail too. Cause.
Oh yeah, because our mother thought the Stardew Valley episode was so funny that she bought Alex a tuna.
Yeah, a stuffed tuna. The best part is that it came like like shrink wrapped, so it was flat and like squished. But that's all it came in. Like they literally stuck the shipping label on it. So the Amazon driver and like whoever like FedEx or all that shit, like literally like carry it and put it on my porch as like this deflated tuna. It's so fucking stupid. I love you, Mom, but why? Why did you do this?
Because it brings her joy.
I mean, it's very fun to hit Bill with. Like, it's very, like, you hold it in your hand, and it's very, like, slap, smack, 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 smack. So, that's pretty fun. I just threw it on the couch. So, that's pretty fun. Yeah, and I guess for me, because we're just going to talk about me. No one gives a shit about you. I've been catching up with a lot of anime. I finally caught up with Dr. Stone. I rewatched all of the first season because I only did half of it, and then I watched the second season and the special episodes, and I'm waiting for all of the third season to come out before I watch it. Caught up with One Piece. I'm all caught up there with the current episodes. I'm trying to think, what else did I watch? And I've started watching Trigun So I watched Trigun Stampede, the new series, which I really enjoyed, and now I'm watching Trigun the original series, and I also really enjoy it. I don't understand why a lot of people hate on the new series. Well, I guess it's because it's like new.
Isn't it like partially CG too, and people just start?
Yeah, I mean, that's not really why people are hating on it. Actually, I actually think the animation is really well done for CG. I mean, especially compared to like some of the other stuff that's out there, I think it looks great. Um, but a lot of people are more hating on it because of how it changes the story a lot. But the thing is that like for me, I like it because it's not like the author isn't on board. Like the author wanted these changes, like he wanted this and he's heavily involved in the new production. So I just see it as like, hey, it's just another new way to enjoy this series. So I am enjoying it. A lot of people don't like it though, but I like it.
Well, people don't like change and they complain.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the main thing. It all comes back to that. But
anytime a series goes on a long like break and then comes back years later, people complain because that's just what people do nowadays.
Yeah, but I'm definitely gonna. I'm almost done with just Trigun, the original series, and then I plan on actually collecting the manga because they're gonna re-release the manga soon. So I'm actually a really big fan. I've really been enjoying the Trigun series. So, yeah.
I started. So I've been on a kind of a kick of playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot lately.
Nice.
I got past the Frieza arc, the Frieza saga, and like that's like basically after that is when the game kind of opens up and like a whole bunch of shit like becomes available. So I've been just playing that pretty much nonstop lately. Other than that, though, nothing too crazy. Haven't really been collecting for reasons I'll get into at another time. I did get a few mangas though in the mail. Like I managed to complete all of the Golden Time manga, so I'm happy about that.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to reading that eventually.
Oh,
I got figures. You know.
Oh yeah, you did.
I got a Yor figure.
Yes, you did.
And I got everyone's favorite. And I got everyone's favorite character from Jujutsu Kaisen,
Useless Miwa.
The best character.
I really want a figure of Yuji, but he's doing the Togepi face. I really want that as a figure.
You just need like 7 Gojos.
No, I'm good. I have one and I'm fine with that. I need 7 Luffys.
You don't want Gojo with a white head?
Speaking of Luffy, Bill, Gear 5 is going to be animated soon. And I'm
aware.
Pumped.
You've only told me every day.
No, but you know what's even cooler is that they're actually working with I saw this. I don't know if it's completely true, but I did see that actually Warner Brothers is actually working is going to be working to animate the Gear 5 fight scenes, which is pretty awesome, I will say. Since it's so like cartoony and fun, so I am freaking pumped.
Yeah.
I just want Gear 5 right now. Thanks. Bye.
Oh, Zelda came out. that happened.
Yeah, I need to play that. I play Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. I mean, Breath of the Wild's a great game. I don't have time for Zelda right now, so I'm not really gonna.
I gotta buy the new one.
So I heard so many stories about people have not been able to put this game down, like over like the last like.
Well, I've seen also a lot of like fuckery with it, like people doing really weird shit.
Well, that's any game.
Of the no, I guess there's like a lot of like build mechanics in it, and I've just seen people putting things everywhere, making inappropriate things, and I'm like, stop! Don't disgrace.
There was also that awful meme of the fusion mechanic where Link was fusing things, and it was like they were the Full Metal Alchemist like meme, and I was like, oh no,
don't be the dog man, don't be.
Yeah, No, but I was laughing because I have coworkers who were telling me stories about they had their kids over for Mother's Day, and the kids couldn't wait to get out of there to go home and play Zelda. And
Oh my god.
I was like, wow, like this is what it is now.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll get it at some point. It's not a high priority for me right now because if I buy it now, it's just gonna sit on the shelf and not get played. So
No,
I don't know.
that is true. Nationwide is on your side.
No, they're not.
Sorry, I don't even have Nationwide. Well, I got an email because I have insurance. Well, yeah, I have. You have insurance. I have insurance.
Everyone should have insurance on their cars. Just...
well, it was I don't know. I don't know.
Speaking of cars, I got my Mustang back on the road. I'm very happy about
Stangy. You got Stangy back?
Her name is Lucy.
Her name's Stangy. And
No,
she's stinky. Stinky Stang.
Well, your car's the color of sewage, so.
No, it's not. It's a beautiful blue, tealy, green. I don't really know what to call it. It's like a blue, and it's awesome. My car is great. I have a back seat that doesn't require you climbing through the car. You just open a fucking door. Easy. Your car requires climbing in the back. That fucking sucks.
All right. So are you drinking anything?
No. I'm sick. I'm drinking some tea.
I have a Guinness. That's like nature's tea.
No, it's not. That's not anything like that.
Guinness is basically a elixir of the
not tea. It's not tea.
It's a miracle drink. That's what it is.
It's fucking beer. Get over it. You're not even really Irish. Neither of us are.
I never said I was. I just said it's a great beer.
Oh god. It's not tea. So because I've been sick, everyone told me to get like this this nose spray because it works a lot, but every time I do it, it like kind of burns a little bit, and it's like, eh. I also didn't read the instructions, and at first I was just taking it like every hour, and then it's only to take it every 12 hours.
This is why you read the instructions.
No, I don't.
Dumbass.
I don't. Yeah, so that wasn't good. And then you're only supposed to use it for like 3 days. So I'm on like I think this is day 3, but I'm probably gonna use it tomorrow anyways. So woo!
And on that note, let's move on to our topic for today's episode before Alex.
Sorry, I'm dying.
Before it's Alex can no longer function.
Yeah. I'm really trying.
Yep. That's why I say we should get through this. So, moving on, we're actually returning to another series of ours. It's an anime
3
episode,
pickles
guys.
in a jar.
More like a barrel. We'll be getting to that later.
Pickle barrel!
The people who don't understand our humor aren't going to get that one, but whatever.
I mean, even the people who do probably wouldn't.
Yeah, they won't.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're returning to 3 anime films.
Yes.
It's been a while since we did one of those.
Yes.
Yeah, so we watched 3, technically 4, but let's face it, one of them was basically one film.
Yeah, it's basically one film. Like, even the wiki says it's like 2 parts. It's one film, but 2 parts. So it's
one very long film that was split into 2 halves, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So, the 3 films we watched during this next iteration of 3 so I guess as a little description, 3 anime films is essentially a series where we watch 3 completely unrelated anime films and just talk about them.
Yes.
We're not ranking them against each other. We're just talking about them.
We talk shit.
We do sometimes. Yeah. So the movies we watched for this round were Sailor Moon Crystal Eternal.
Yes.
That time I got reincarnated as a slime, Scarlet Bond.
Yes.
And Jujutsu Kaisen 0.
Yes.
2 of those series we've actually done anime swaps on in the past.
Yes.
Sailor Moon, that's more of a retrospective that we'll be getting to at some point in the future, probably.
Yeah. At some point, yes, we'll definitely. I'll find someone to do a Sailor Moon retrospective. Hey, the next movie's gonna be coming out soon, so
Yep.
you're gonna be watching that with me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, it should be coming out next month.
Good to know.
Well, in Japan at least. I don't know about
Oh,
America.
yeah. Yeah, and God knows when the dub will come out because we're still waiting on the Kaguya-sama dub at this point, but that's besides the point. So, yeah, let's start, I guess, off with Sailor Moon Crystal Eternal.
Yes.
So I guess for a little background, Sailor Moon Crystal is it's not a sequel series like some
It's a
people seem to
revival
think.
series.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I guess you could say, where it's more
but they
true to
didn't do
the.
it right.
Well, yeah,
I mean, I'm like, I have mixed feelings about this series because there's some stuff that I really love. That's why I want to do a retrospective. But basically, I'm sure a lot of people saw when it first came out, it actually started out as like an actual anime, not just a movie where it was having episodes. Um, but then they fucked it up because they said, you know what, let's do CG and let's not do it good. And it didn't look good. Also, just like some of the animation was just very poorly done and not true to the art style. Like they were trying to make it different and not in a good way. Um it's actually kind
yeah.
of funny talking about it, especially after watching Trigun Stampede, where it's it's it, the similarities of like how they both were trying to reignite a series, and one did it, I believe, really well, and one did it very poorly. It's very interesting, but
I
it's
mean,
basically taking the Sailor Moon series and making it true to the manga. Because I think, as most people know, the traditional series was kind of like your daily daily monster show. Like,
it was Power Rangers for girls.
yeah, no, it was like, all right, who's the monster of the week? Like, who are we gonna beat this week? And a little bit of plot thrown in along the way. But for the most part, it took place of like Sailor Scouts encountered some sort of monster attacking one of their friends, or maybe someone that's like a celebrity or something, and them having to go save them and defeat the monster with not really having anything to do with the plot. So
Yeah.
this
So
series basically takes that away and is all plot, basically.
yeah. So it's basically kind of so. Fullmetal Alchemist, I guess, isn't actually a proper comparison because the Fullmetal Alchemist thing is more complicated in that was more they ran out of manga and then just decided to say fuck it and do their own thing.
Yeah, this honestly, Sailor Moon, I don't really think there's anything really to compare it to.
Maybe
Um,
Fruit Baskets like a little because
not
like the
I mean, like, but
in the
Fruit
sense that the
Baskets,
original series was a lot more like kind of took a lot of liberties.
I guess, but
Not nearly as
also
drastic and
I
also
think though a lot of that though was because it was similar to Full Metal Alchemist where the manga wasn't out.
well
Because
the
honestly,
difference
I feel like though, but I feel like if they knew the story that was going through, they would have made the tone different. Like I feel like they didn't know the tone of the story
well
because they didn't know where the story was going, so they made it.
also the big difference between Fullmetal Alchemist and Fruit Baskets was Fullmetal Alchemist the writer gave them permission to literally just do whatever. Fruit Baskets the mangaka and the director of the anime could not stand each other.
Yeah. So that's why I can't really compare Sailor
That's
Moon to really any series because
that's
I
why I
just
said it was
don't.
kind of like like in the most basic way. Like it's not
Yeah,
an exact.
I just really don't think there's a series that it could compare to. Like I feel like the whole goal of this series was to sell toys in the end, sell merchandise and products, and that's kind of why the monster, like, I mean, because it was magical girls, it was Power Rangers for girls,
It literally was like,
So
which is
the whole
hilarious because the show's more gender neutral, like in terms of demographic in Japan, but in America it was very much directed towards girls.
Yeah. But anyways, we're getting completely off topic, so we're gonna go into what this movie's actually about. So this movie takes place actually after the before movie. So how the series worked is that they actually did, I think it was 2 seasons or 3 seasons of anime, and then they basically stopped, and the rest was movies. So the last movie was Sailor Moon Super S, the movie, or Actually, no, that's
No,
not it.
that was
That's
the
different.
original
Yeah, that's the
movie.
original. So actually, no. So this one takes place after the last anime season, and so for the rest of the series, they're just doing movies instead. So this
Because it's
basically,
cheaper.
well, it's cheaper, but also I think what happened is like they didn't get the buy-in that they wanted because they fucked it up in the beginning, and they still wanted to finish it out though, so they chose to do movies rather than continue with the anime because it didn't, you know, it didn't get that buy-in because they fucked up. This is basically what happened. They fucked up. So it's basically it takes place after the last part of the series, which was the Mugen Academy art. Um, and it moves on to the Dead Moon Circus arc, uh, where they run into Pegasus and Helios.
Yes.
Pegasus,
Oh
a
boy.
Pegasus named Helios.
I will
And
say,
it's
like, just as a one thing, I will say, if you were a fan of the original series, oh boy, is this different.
yeah, like, and that's what's so I've never read the manga, and I want to at some point. I definitely want to start collecting it because this is like my childhood, but it blows my mind just how different it is like compared to the show, which I
Hmm.
get why they did it in the show because they were stretching it for a long period of time, but it's kind of bizarre at times just how different. Like one of the things that has always kind of bothered me is like Usagi and Mamoru's relationship, and how the original series like like kind of like one, they made it weird because they made him like a lot older than her, which was
I
kind
mean,
of
it's
weird.
still it's weird in like this movie too, to
Well,
be
no,
honest.
it's not as bad though because in
It's not
this
as bad. It's
movie
still
she's
weird
a so
though.
in this movie it's she's in high school, and at the time when we watched the series, she was still in middle school, so it it's not
True.
as weird. Which is
Also,
one
we
of
were a
the
lot
things
younger
interesting.
then though, and we didn't notice.
Yeah. So so it basically goes through the movie the Dead Moon Circus arc, which is kind of all the circus themed, and I believe at the beginning it's like Chibiusa was originally gonna go home to the 30th century, but then she can't because she needs to stay here and basically help Pegasus. Um and it's when they transform into Super Sailor Moon and Super Sailor Chibi Moon. And one thing that's interesting is like they immediately fight the Amazon
Trio.
quartet.
Oh yeah, not the freaking fish people or
Yeah, so
whatever.
the fish people, they're still there, but it's like they're immediately there, and they're immediately, and it's I love that they didn't snub them too at the end, because in the original series they were snubbed and they didn't get their, tie back to, hey, we're going to return in the future, but I'm spoiling. I'm spoiling. So, it's basically they have to go, there's this new threat. It's the Dark Moon Circus, and they have to defeat them. And that's basically the movie. Honestly,
Yeah.
there's Zirconia, and it's very interesting. So Queen Nelhelania, how they wrote her in the how they wrote her in the old series versus this series, it's like so the stories are so different. Like it's very strange because I remember in the old series her story was that she was on a different planet or a different moon, and she was the queen of that moon. But in this series,
It's like a parallel world, isn't it? Or
yeah,
something
in
like
this
that.
series it's a parallel world, and she like wanted to take over Sailor Moon's moon, and like she was like basically the mirror was like she was the opposite world. But in the other series it was like a whole different world, and like her world got destroyed and all of her people kind of like I, her thing too was like a all like her story was all about beauty and how she like she wanted to remain beautiful and forever young, and
Hmm.
like obviously you can't, so how she did that was like she took people's like dreams or something. So it was very interesting to me like how different the story is, and like so the Amazon trio does a pair with Fish Eye, Tiger's Eye, Hawk's Eye, those three.
They
um
aren't horribly misgendered this time too, which is very
Yeah.
better.
And it's just very
90s
interesting.
people.
Yeah.
90s.
No, I mean like it was very different for the time. And I think at one point it like goes into the plaza like they're fighting, and then like each of the girls like gets like one they get targeted and they get like they can't transform or something, and then oh yeah, didn't at the beginning like two at the beginning of this like they switched bodies? Not they
No,
didn't
no, no.
switch
They
bodies.
didn't switch bodies. They de-aged Usagi and they aged
Yeah,
up Chibi Usa, which also happened in the original series, but it was so brief that I barely remembered it. I was more like I
yeah.
was kind of like, huh?
Yeah. Oh, and then another thing is like Mamoru's like sick and he's like hiding it from her. Like he has a curse, and he's hiding it from
Was that in
Usagi.
the original series, or is this something they added for
No,
this?
I think well no, I think they took it out of the original series.
Okay,
So you
that's
gotta
what I'm.
remember, like this is true to the manga, so this is basically anything that's in here is stuff that was taken out of the
Also, for context for the people listening, this move like both parts of this movie, essentially, this movie, if you compare it to the original series, this movie basically sums up what was like 40 something episodes.
No, yeah. And well, but it doesn't even sum it up because they're just different.
Yeah, this is like an abridged version of the manga
Well, it
compared
was
to.
interesting too. It's just it's like completely different. Like it's a completely
Hmm,
different story because I know like some of this stuff it ties into stuff that was part of like the last season of the old series, which was Stars. Because at the beginning of Stars, it actually takes you back to like Queen Nell Helenia, where they thought they defeated her, and they're just like, "Haha, fuck you, you didn't defeat me," and that she has to basically fight her again. So which yeah, so that happens, and I know
Also, the outer Senshai
yeah,
actually appear.
they
They
weren't
weren't in
in
that
the
season at all
well,
in the
they weren't
original.
in the for well, they might no, they weren't in that season at all in the original ones, but they do appear frequently in the last season,
Yeah,
Stars. Um oh yeah, and I remember too the unicorn like kisses Sailor Chip Moon. I'm like, that's a little weird. She's a child.
you know what was also
Stop
really
it.
weird to me? This is specific. This is specifically related just to the dub because so Sailor Moon Crystal uses the new Vizcast as opposed to the original Clover Way like Deke cast that like
Yeah.
the original series used, and objectively they're much better. Like the dubbing is vastly superior now compared to the original.
Yeah.
But nostalgically, I still love the original dub just for how stupid it was at
Hmm.
times. But I will
Oh yeah.
say Pegasus's voice in this is so off-putting because
And it's like a little like weird. Yeah,
yeah,
I will
I'm so used
agree.
to like the man voice he had in the original. Now it's like this little boy voice, and I'm like this doesn't work. It's so weird to me.
Oh yeah. Now I'm kind of remembering. I also like I don't know. It's not that I didn't enjoy this, but like I think I would need to watch it again to fully grasp the story and stuff because it was different the first time and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is happening and this." And I think that's the problem almost with doing these series and movies is that I almost feel they're too rushed and I
Well,
don't know what's going on.
they're heavily
Um
abridged, like
Oh yeah,
compared to the
they
manga.
feel very rushed. Which is disappointing. I'm glad they're at least finishing the series, but it is pretty disappointing that it did feel very rushed.
I
Uh,
just realized your name on Zencaster is Goddamn Tuna.
you just realized that?
Yeah, I haven't paid attention to that because it's always something cursed, and I'm like,
I
Jesus
change
Christ.
it every time. um Yeah. Oh, okay. I kind of remember the story now, or I read it on Wikipedia. You decide. But the basically like the Queen Nell Helena, she came. She came when Serena, not Serena, Usagi was born.
Darian.
She came when she was born, and she basically Queen Serenity sealed her in a mirror, and then she cursed the newborn princess, which actually led to like the whole downfall. Because if you're a true fan, you understand that at the beginning of the series it shows you that the moon kingdom falls apart and it gets destroyed, and then they all get reincarnated on Earth.
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't know that, but that's fine. But basically this happens, they fight, and then Usagi becomes eternal. Oh wait, what do they call it? I forget. Eternal Sailor Moon. That's it.
Is
Yeah,
that the
because
ugly costume that I don't
that's the
like?
one you say is ugly. I say it looks much cuter in this series because it
Well,
is like,
it looked really ugly in the original animation.
well, the color was really, honestly, the colors in that series in general were really off and weird.
Well, it was almost like it was an 80s, like early 90s anime.
Yeah, but it's just weird because like the seasons prior weren't as dark, but that one was just really dark coloring. But it basically they win, and then the Amazon Quartet actually get revealed that they're Sailor Guardians of the asteroid. So our robbery finally gets, we get our revenge for the robbery we were given.
What's funny to me too is in this movie they appear right away, whereas opposed to like the original anime, they don't appear till like halfway fucking through the season.
Yeah, they really don't. Like and so they basically are say, and they go back to sleep because it's not time yet, because they're revealed to be Sailor Chibi Moon's sailor soldiers. So in the future when she becomes a full-fledged Sailor Guardian, those will be her Sailor Guardians to help her along the way.
I will admit there was a few scenes in this that like were identical, well not identical, but they were like the same basic concept to the original show, which I found kind of nostalgic. Like
Yeah.
when the scene with the circus coming out of the sky. Granted, it was much more intimidating in this series because in the original series it just looked like a tree falling from the sky.
Oh yeah.
But also the scene where they're confronting the character that was a man in the original series and is a elderly woman in this series, the demon with the staff. I forget the name.
Well, I mean, like, it's not like their character design changed. It just was the
No.
voice.
But it was very clearly a
it
man
was
in the original.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zirconia. They made the character a man, even though they're actually a woman.
Well, they actually did their research this time and
I
figured it.
definitely recommend, though, if you're gonna watch this, watch the original series and then watch this, because it is really fascinating just how different it is. But I also feel like I kind of want to go back and read the manga, because I feel like honestly I feel like I'm not doing a great job describing this, because I truly just didn't get a full grasp on the story, because it was too quick.
About the movie, not the manga. So
well, yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying, is that like I feel like I'm not doing a great job describing this movie. But in all honesty, I feel like it was too quick, and I didn't get a full.
The movie goes by. Both parts go by really quick.
Yeah, and it's like it's hard to kind of keep up. Like I definitely feel like I get why they did it as a movie, because they had to do, if they wanted to continue, they had to do it as a movie. But I feel like it would have been better if it was an episodic like the rest.
Well,
but
also too, in the original this is just comparing to the original series and what it changed. But the original series also like greatly changed the character like personalities of most of the characters in the show.
Oh yeah.
And they were much more fleshed out in a lot of ways, which led to a lot of the character interactions in this movie just kind of going by a lot quicker in a sense, because there wasn't nearly as much outside bullshit that we had to like pay attention to at the same time.
No, yeah. It's definitely yeah. It was a movie. I mean, like, it wasn't like I enjoyed it, but
it was entertaining.
Like I need to go back and watch it to truly understand what happened.
I kind of want to sit back and rewatch the original series of like this season again. Yeah. Just because I want to watch the Viz redub of that just to see what they change, but also just kind of like nostalgia, really.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I definitely want to go back to I want to rewatch this season too, and then the season after, especially when Sailor Moon Cosmos comes out, because I know I've read a little bit of the manga for the arc of Cosmos, and it's very interesting how much they changed it there as well. So I'm very interested to see how Cosmos. Also, we were robbed of Sailor Moon Cosmos, her final transformation.
We were robbed of a lot of things.
Like, we were robbed so many things. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So I'm definitely gonna rewatch this one, get a deeper dive, read the manga, rewatch the old one, and then get pumped for the next movie.
Hmm.
Oh, and it is gonna be a 2-part film too. So Sailor Moon Cosmos is gonna have 2 parts as well.
Honestly, it should have been a 3-parter so they could have fit more stuff,
Yeah,
but
I
that's
feel like
besides
they
the
should
point.
have done 3 parts. But anyways, enough talking about Sailor Moon because I could probably go on for days.
Yeah, we'll save this for the eventual Sailor Moon retrospective because it's not even a secret. We're going to be doing more retrospectives in the future just for a long form series.
Yes. Also, if you want to hop on the Sailor Moon series retrospective series, reach out to us.
Yeah, join our Discord and message us.
Discord. I could make a Sailor Moon Discord just to talk about Sailor Moon lore. Just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
No.
That's a lot of work.
All right.
I'm lazy.
So moving on from what's funny about this 3 anime films is like we had a big gap in between the films that we watched.
Yeah. Well,
We
because
watched
we watched it on a whim.
well,
Like
no,
we
what
were just like,
happened
you want to
was
watch it?
yeah, what happened was we watched these 2 movies and we were like, yeah, let's do this for the next 3 anime films. Then we did the Ghibli retrospective. Shout out to Rick, by the way, great episode. Hope to have him
Yes.
on again in the future. But yeah, so the we did the Ghibli retrospective, so that literally took up most of our time to watch films because those were for a different thing. And then we finally sat down and watched the next 2 movies like a month later. So it was a bit of a gap this time around.
Oh yeah, definitely a gap, but
It was worth it in the end because these next 2 movies I really enjoyed.
yeah. Well, I enjoyed most of the next one except for
Oh
one
yeah,
thing, which we'll
one
get
scene. We'll
into.
get to that. So the next movie we watched was kind of my pick. Honestly, we picked all 3 of these basically together, but
Yeah.
so the next film we watched was That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, the movie, Scarlet Bond, because I love long titles that are stupid.
Yes.
So this was a standalone film that is canon to the series because Fuse was involved with creating it. So this film takes place following the second season, so basically right after all of the anime that's out so far.
Yeah, so basically right after Rimuru becomes a demon lord. Or
Yes.
a demon. Is it a demon lord?
Yeah, he's a full on demon lord.
I couldn't remember if it was something else. Yeah, it's demon lord.
It's right after he established the Jura Tempest Federation in the land of the
Yes.
monsters.
Yes,
So
yes. And he defeated Clayman.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, this film takes place right after the events of the series as of now. So right after the first 2 seasons and Slime Diaries. And it is canon, so you kind of have to watch the series to understand what's going on. But
Well, I mean, like you don't. You're just gonna be confused about who
well,
all these people are.
that's what I'm saying. The film can be watched standalone, but at the same time, you really should watch the series to understand because there is a lot.
Yeah.
For as weird a concept as slime is, it has a pretty deep lore that it's building up right now.
Yes.
So this film is interesting because it starts off basically with a little of like a battle scene going on between these 2 characters that we don't know yet. And one of them was an orc character very similar to the characters that we've kind of come to love in the series at this point, like Shuna, Shion,
Or ogre. You mean ogre?
Ogre,
Yeah.
yeah. Whatever, they're all the same.
No,
Weird
orcs
fantasy.
are the pig people.
Weird
Wrong!
fantasy creatures.
You are incorrect. Orcs are the pig people. Ogres are the hot ones.
Oh yeah. Yes. So yeah, we see an at the time unnamed ogre fighting against another character, and essentially the battle ends in kind of a duel to the death, where this unnamed character is basically mortally wounded, and he is like basically picked up by this group of
Well, he's actually fighting one of the people that actually Rimuru defeated in the last season.
Yes.
He was part of Clayman's people. He was the guy with the like axe or sword. And he got brutally defeated easily. But he was part of one of Clayman's men. So he'd seen them before, but this was like basically prior to um the ogres the joining Rimuru.
Mm. Yeah, it was so basically he's in a fight that he's not named at this point, because you got to remember in this universe,
Oh yeah, names
getting a
are
name,
important.
yeah, getting a name basically gives you basically it's like leveling up in an RPG
Yeah,
or
no,
an MMO in a
basically.
sense. So he's borderline killed, and most of his men are also, like, people fighting with him are also injured,
Hmm.
and they're all rescued by this group of people from a neighboring village or a village nearby, and they do the best to heal them, but basically they're all going to die because they're all mortally wounded, and the leader of this crap, I'm forgetting her name.
It's Raja. I think that's what it's called. Raja? Yeah, Raja.
Yes.
She's the queen of Raja. Um they rescue him. And she has the ability to like heal others.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello there. Hello.
Is that Miss
Did you,
Till?
yeah, did you hear that?
I did.
Wait, you heard the meow?
Yes.
She's come to say her piece. Um yeah, so the Queen of Raja saves him and basically heals him, but unfortunately she doesn't have enough power to save just him. To save him, well, no, she doesn't have enough power to save him as well as his friends. And unfortunately, in order to save his life, she basically has to sacrifice the life of his friends.
Yeah.
Um which is very sad. But she ends up naming him Hero, um which is what saves him, but she doesn't have enough so as you know, Rimuru, he's OP. He
Yeah.
has too much power. He can name just about anyone. Wait, the fuck are you doing? All right, whatever. She does not have as much power as Rimuru. So in order to save him, others have to be sacrificed. So when he wakes up, he realizes all of his friends are dead, and his first thing he does is he actually runs away, steals like someone's dragon and flies back to the ogre kingdom,
Mm.
and then when he gets there, of course,
It's obliterated.
it's gone because at the time he didn't at the time in the arc, that's when the orcs were coming, and the orcs basically destroyed the whole village,
Mm-hmm. And
except
it's
for the sole survivors, which were Hero and the
a group
crew
of
that
a group of some suspiciously familiar looking
suspiciously sexy. No.
no, they
uh,
were children during that scene, by the
no,
way.
no, not when they left though.
No, but when he sees flashbacks of them,
Oh yeah, no,
they were
yeah.
kids. That's how you get clued into, hey, I know those characters.
Yeah, and I remember too when we were first watching it, we were like, Dad,
Yeah,
Dad.
we were confused whether he was supposed to be like their father or like just a brother or a
And then
relative, or
it turned out he just wasn't related at all, but
no, but
he was from the village. He was like a brother,
they were like a
like a
brother, an
friendship
older
brother,
brother,
you
essentially.
know.
Like, but yeah, was related to them. I remember though the scene where like you see like the flashback of like Shuna and Shion. You were like, I knew it was the dad, and I'm like, we don't know that yet.
Yeah, I did do that. I was like, shit, I was wrong. But basically he ends up going there, and then obviously he finds there's nothing to return
Yeah.
to, and
So he returns back to
Raja, which is funny because now that I'm thinking back, like one of the people, like, she's out there waiting for him, and one of the people is like, "Don't worry, like, he's not coming back. He's not coming back." And spoiler alert, he turns out to be a bad guy. So so fuck
yeah.
that character. Um
Oh yeah, this film, like, literally, like, there was multiple points where I wasn't sure who the villain was.
Yeah, that was like one thing too. Was like I was like, because for a while, well, in the beginning especially, so how they end up encountering each other, Hero and then like Benny Maru and friends, um how they end up encountering is he actually is now working for the Raja Empire, and I believe he was coming to see Rimuru and ask him for help. But he ends up encountering, obviously, like our orc friend. And he ends up getting into a fight with him, and Benimaru stops him, and that's kind of what encounters the oh, you're my friend. Rein. We all have names now.
But
What?
there's a point where like where the
The
orc
eyes
is
are red. Like his
yeah.
eyes are red, and like and it's
There's
actually
this
really
there's a scene basically where the orc basically tells him like that he's guilty, but it's in the past now, and there's nothing they can do to change it, and that he's sorry, but even though like he can't change anything about it.
yeah.
And there's a point where I feel like I was convinced like this was gonna come back. It never does come back.
No, yeah, agreed. I also really thought that was, especially because like his eyes were red, and I mean they did turn unred, but you know when you were looking at it, it was like is he mad? Is he salty? I don't know. Like, and I it was leading us to think that he was potentially the villain. He
also
was not.
like also give this movie credit. It gave Benimaru shit to do because he was basically absent for like the most of the end of like the season 2 and like all of Slime Diaries basically.
Well, yeah, when they no, he was doing stuff.
Well, he was doing stuff, but like the final like arc, he's basically not important.
Well, yeah, because the main people were Rimuru, Shuna,
Well, not even
no,
Shuna. It was
Shion,
Shion.
sorry. It's Rimuru and Shion, but I think a lot of that also had to do with like Shion was dead. So, spoiler.
It's been a while since, because for context, like it's been at least a couple of years since season 2 ended. Because we had Slime Diaries as kind of the holdover, but Slime Diaries was a slice of life series that took place in between.
Yes.
So it was nice to see all the characters kind of get attention again. Also, like something I want to point out, we've joked about this series that it's weirdly fan servicey for no reason. It's just it is what it is. I'll give this movie credit. This movie was very tame.
Yeah, no, it really was.
Like there was a Shion boob joke once. That was about it.
Yeah, they also forgot that Shion can cook now. That was one thing they forgot.
It wasn't funny, so they had to make it funny again.
Yeah, they had to make her food poison. But getting back to the plot, so basically Hero ends up asking for help, basically to save their kingdom because their water is poisonous and they're gonna die. Like in order, so the balance
to essentially to purify the lake, she has to like use this like
crown
that was it's a hereditary crown that gets passed down to each member of this family generationally. The problem is though the crown,
it's
as they use it, it's cursed and it kills them ever so slowly.
And what you find now is that it's actually just all been, for them it was this gift from an angel, but in truth it was actually just a game for a demon.
A demon who has really weird priorities.
Well, you have to remember though, is like the demons in this world, like they need to exist with like they need like a vessel to exist in the world.
Yeah.
So, and her goal out of this game was that eventually it would roll down the line where they would use the power so much that it would destroy them, and she would. Did you just open a freaking Guinness?
No.
What did you open? I heard it through the mic.
It's not important.
Yes, it is. What are you drinking?
Cayman Jack.
Slut. Anyways,
but yeah, anyways, so Demon Lord is basically bored and playing a game with this human to get a body, even though it's mostly just entertainment for her at this point.
Yeah, but she's not okay with cheating.
Yeah, she's a noble demon. Yeah. Sort of.
Well, she wants to do it fair, she made this deal, and she's gonna, see it through to the end.
I think I have a strong feeling that there's more to this demon, and we'll be seeing more of her.
Oh, definitely. Because there's more demons too. Like the only demon we really know about is Diablo. But there's definitely more out there that we haven't learned about yet. But Rimuru ends up going down to the village and to the kingdom, not village, it's a kingdom. And he actually ends up helping them.
Oh yeah, because
And
my favorite scene is like, so the lake, like literally just to like kind of like stopgap it,
Moses,
not.
Moses,
Well, here's the
he
thing.
parted the sea. Was that Moses?
No, let me. Yes, but let me
Or
finish.
was that
So
Jesus?
no,
I don't know religion. I don't.
it was Moses. But you never watched The Prince of Egypt?
No.
You have to watch The Prince of Egypt. It's a great film.
We'll do a podcast. Prince of Egypt podcast. Fuck yeah.
That was like DreamWorks' first like animated movie. It was great, but
Oh,
that's
it was?
besides the point.
Oh,
One of them anyway.
shit.
Doesn't matter. Back to
Shit.
back to this. So as I was saying,
Shit.
when the princess would like purify the lake, it would basically only be a stopgap, and it would eventually become poisonous again.
Yes.
So then Rimuru shows up, and they're all like, "Careful, it's very dangerous." And Rimuru just says, "Fuck it," and does it in 3 seconds.
Because Rimuru, remember, is OP
Yes.
in every way.
So he basically purifies it in 3 seconds, but he knows he knows that it's not done yet. There's something in the lake, so he literally parts the seas, like as Alex said, Moses and the Prince of Egypt.
Moses.
And he goes to the center and finds that there's a curse in the lake that's basically poisoning it, and that's why she can never overcome it. And so Rimuru goes and just takes care of it in like 2 seconds because that's what Rimuru does.
And then a suspicious character comes along and is very confused why the lake is no longer poisonous. So, it actually is a little bit. So they end up actually healing the land, and they actually help them with agriculture, and they don't really need this merchant man anymore. And then it turns out this
And
merchant
also,
man
my favorite scene ever is when they're asking for the help of the ruler of the forest, the great demon
yeah,
dragon.
yeah, and he's just like, "What's up?"
He's literally napping in the corner
goofball.
reading his manga, and they're all like, "What?"
He's the best. He's best boy. He's best boy in the. I need a figure of him
See,
desperately.
the great thing about Slime is literally every fucking character is great.
Oh my god, yes.
Like, is there a character in this series that's a main character that isn't great?
No, they're all great. I love them all.
Even the lame ones, like the dragon dude, who I forget his name.
Feldora?
No, not that dragon. The
Oh,
lizard
okay.
man, like
The lizard man.
the one that had a name before Rimuru didn't name.
The lizard man. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
He's
can't
like
remember his name. He's lame though, and he always gets his butt kicked.
he's lame. Me.
This is gonna bother me now if I don't figure it out. Continue on. We'll get there in a minute.
Sorry, I'm dying. Yeah, but anyways, so this man appears and he's a little bit angry that like all of his scheming is no longer working. So of course he's gonna freaking sabotage everything that they did, which eventually leads to the conflict of like Rimuru's like, okay, so this isn't natural. Someone did this, and we gotta figure out who the fuck did. And but at the same time,
Oh,
because
Gabiru. Gabiru is his name.
Gabiru, that's it. At the same time, Toa, the queen of Raja, um, is basically has to start set. Like she had been doing better and actually getting healthier because she wasn't using the crown anymore, but because she needed to start using it again, her health started failing her again. And Hero, out of love, wanted a way to heal her, and he actually gets manipulated by the
Obviously evil
obvious
dude.
evil dude. I don't remember his name, but he's just obviously evil dude. That's basically the best way to describe him. He ends up
He tricks him into
manipulating him.
thinking that if he gives up the name, like all the power that she granted him when she named
Well,
him.
it's to swap bodies. So it's basically like
Essentially.
she would take his body, but he's like, you fucking idiot. That's not a thing. Here's your little curse pebble, and then he
he
becomes
basically
a freaking monster.
He gives Hero like another one of those curse things that he used to poison the lake again.
Yeah.
And essentially it doesn't immediately take effect, but eventually, like after basically his deception is revealed, it causes him to basically go berserk.
Yeah. And then Benny Mario has to fight him, and Rimuru ends up fighting the
Meanwhile, Diablos goes off to go face off against
Ultima.
Ultima.
Nissan Ultima.
There's a lot of plot. There's a lot of plot threads going on here. It makes a lot more sense when you're watching it because it actually is pretty well balanced. Like everything like flows very well. It's very hard to explain it though because this is a very action heavy comedy, not so much plot based film. I think is the best way to explain it.
Yeah. No, that's probably the best way to explain it.
Because there is a plot, but it's not like right in your face. It's kind of like it's there, you can follow it. But the film's more about the fighting, the action, and then the comedy, because that's basically what Slime thrives off of.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get we get a whole bunch of fight scenes. Rimuru defeats sketchy guy.
Yeah. And then but this is where we both go. That's fucking stupid.
Okay, yeah. So the climax, the climax of this whole thing is basically everything's defeated, yada yada yada, and the curse.
Hero is dying. Like Hero's gonna die.
Hero literally gets like a moment of clarity when like is it Toa like gets through to him, like essentially like
Toa gets through. Well, I think it's also like they confess that they like love each other too.
It's like it's never stated, but it's heavily implied.
It's implied, and basically, so after like Toa gets through to him, and he basically like at that point like it's destroyed his body. What happened to him? So he's actually like almost decaying into like stone, and you're seeing it happen. And
no, first he rips the curse out of his body.
Well, yeah, he rips the curse out, and then he just starts decaying.
Yeah. And this scene pissed me off so much.
Yeah, no, it pissed us both off because we were like, "This is fucking stupid." So he basically dies, and then Toa goes, "Nuh-uh, you ain't dying. Yeah. I'm dying."
Okay, so first off, he dies, and essentially, like at first, I was kind of like, "Oh, okay, this makes sense. They have to tie off the loose ends because they can't have this in the future."
That's what I thought too.
And but then she goes, "No." Basically, she does. It's like the comedy, like the comedic, like "nope" sound effect, where she uses the tiara and basically kills herself to bring him back to life. And it's like, okay, that was pointless. Now we got this character that's never going to appear again back. That's cool.
But then, so the demon Ultima is like, all right, it wasn't a fair game, like, because the guy interfered, so, like, her game was compromised. And then she brings her back to life, so neither of them die.
It was literally a straight double nope. But
I feel like the thing is if it happened, like, at a distance, like, not one after the other, it would have been fine. But the fact that it was literally like, he dies, she dies, and then he's back. He dies, she dies, he's back, and then she's back. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like,
I get what they were going for because they had to like undo the curse, yada 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 thing.
I feel like they needed to stretch that out, and then it would have been fine. Like if it happened earlier, he died, and she brought her back, and then he fought to save her.
It was just the fact that it was right after the other. Like it was literally straight up like, nope.
Nope. Yeah. Nope. And I agree. That's what was really. But they all live, and the kingdom is happily ever after, and that's basically where it is.
I admit it did kind of fit the comedy of Slime in hindsight, looking at it. But it was still annoying.
So much better. Like there's so much better it could have done.
Well, because this show has a tendency to like hand wave death off as like a joke.
Yeah, I mean like Shion.
Yeah,
but there was like Shion a bunch of people. But how they
then
did
also,
that
but then you also
so
go back
better.
to. But then you also go back to Shizu, who does straight up die.
Yeah, and she's not coming back. Well, I guess she comes back in Rimuru's form.
Also in Slime Diaries somehow, but that
as a little ghosty.
Besides the point. Yeah. Why is everything Skippy? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this movie was good.
It was good. It was definitely a good movie, but the ending was like, come on, you could have done a little better. Like, I feel
the climax and payoff was really like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Granted, this was standalone, and they kind of had to just tie it off so we don't have to worry about it again later.
They could have tied it off better. There's so much they could have done better, but we're not gonna get that
I still think him dying and her just getting the curse lifted would have made more sense.
Yeah, I feel
Because
like
now
that would
it's
have
like
made.
they have there's another named like ogre character around who's just never gonna. Well, we don't know yet. He might
Well,
appear, but
I don't know fully, but I know that like Ultima, the demon, like she's gonna appear, and I might be butchering her name too, so I'm very sorry. But Nissan Ultima is gonna appear again.
I was thinking the Ultima RPG series personally.
I
But
was thinking Nissan, so
as long as it's not a
that's who
Kia.
we are. But that was basically that. So let's move on to our last
Yeah,
movie.
good movie, weird ending,
Yeah,
great animation, awesome cast,
fun slime. Like it was very much
fun.
slime. If you
And
like slime, you're gonna like this
we're a
movie.
pro slime household, so
We are pro slime, pro slime.
that sounds really bad, but never mind. So okay, last movie. This one. So we had planned on watching this one from the start. Like, actually, this was the first movie we planned for this.
Well, so we had planned to watch this because we knew as you guys have listened, if you're dedicated fans, we did an anime swap of Jujutsu Kaisen. That came out, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been
I was
long
like,
out.
I don't know. So we did an anime swap with Jujutsu Kaisen. So it was only fitting that we'd watch Jujutsu Kaisen 0, which actually it's kind of funny though because we probably could have watched Jujutsu Kaisen 0 first since it's a prelude.
Yes.
It is. But basically, so remember Yuji Itadori?
Not
Fuck him.
here.
He's not in this movie. Megumi? Fuck him too. He's not in it. All
Nailed
the
it.
people that you
Nailed
learned
it.
in this.
Fucker. No, never mind. Never mind. That sounds better.
All the people, all the first years that you learn to grow and love, yeah, just they're not in this movie. So don't even
But
think
Gojo
about
has a
them.
white bandana.
Yes, Gojo has a white bandana. Well, it's not even a bandana; it's a bandages. Um, bandages. But basically, so this is a prelude into Jujutsu Kaisen. It basically kind of
It
it's
follows the
focused
story of a
Yuta.
character who we know of in the series, but he's not shown yet because we'll get to it in season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen, most likely.
Yes, he will appear in season 2, but it follows Yuta Okutsu, who's like a young student who became a sorcerer, and his goal of becoming a sorcerer is he wants to control the cursed spirit of his childhood friend Rika.
Not just friend, his childhood love.
Yeah,
'Cause
it is a love story. So it follows him, and basically the first scene is pretty dark because literally the first scene is him in a classroom, and he's like, please don't, like, he's bullies are about to attack him, and he's not talking to them, but he's talking to Rika, and he's like, please don't do this, Rika, please don't do this. And then the next scene you see,
and we don't know what
is
Rika is yet at
no,
this
we
point.
don't understand what Rika is at this point, and all we see is that those 5 or 6 bullies are now all shoved into a locker. So great opener right there. One locker. Yes. So
not all in individual lockers. They're
no, in
one
locker.
locker.
So as you can see, pretty dark, and that kind of what leads to Yuta ending up at the sorcerer Jujutsu High, because at this point, because for some reason the sorcerer leaders, whatever the fuck they are, just a bunch of little bitches, and they just get scared of everything. So they determine that Yuta is a threat because of Rika, and he has to die just like Yuji.
And of
And
course they put everyone's favorite character in charge of him.
yeah. So he ends up in basically the same scene as Yuji in that room, except he's very much like, I am okay with this. I want to sit here and rot forever. And Gojo's like, no, you don't. You don't want to do this. This is a bad idea. You're going to be lonely. And
No,
he's like,
Gojo's
all
more
right.
like Gojo's more like, nah, come on, buddy.
Nah, man, you don't want to do this. We're going to school. And he ends up going to school. And on his first day of school, of course, he ends up meeting like the at the time first years, but they're second years.
You
Where
might
he
have
ends
known.
up
You might know them.
Maki, Inomaki, and
Panda. He's
Just
a
Panda.
panda.
He's a panda, if you didn't know. And on their very first day, they all are just like, what the fuck is up with this guy? Because something's not right. And of course, they try and bully him. And then Rika comes out and she's like, nah, you're gonna die. Um, and that's when he kind of also reveals the whole story of that Rika was his childhood friend who he promised to marry when he grew up, and she died in a freak accident.
Did we mention this
Um,
movie's dark?
yeah,
Like really
and
dark?
after dying, she became this overprotective spirit that if anyone harms him, they will
And
die.
at the time, you think the anguish from dying is what caused her to become the evil cursed spirit, but more on that later because it's actually a lot deeper than that.
Yeah. So, it rolls into basically his first mission, where he goes with Maki, and they basically have to rescue two kids that have gone missing. And Maki, if you've watched the series, as you know, like she does not have any actual cursed like technique. Like she doesn't have any sorcerer ability. So
Hmm.
rather than being a source like using those abilities, she uses cursed tools. And actually wears special glasses so that she can see curses. But if she didn't wear them, she couldn't see them. Like she has no special abilities. But she like chose that if you'll go into her plot if you watch it, but she
Yeah,
just chose that
basically,
she's awesome. Like Maki's one of the best characters
she
in the
is.
series.
You will know though if you've watched Jujutsu Kaisen, which I'm assuming most people who have seen this have.
Yes.
She's got serious family issues, and
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
she has a justified stick up the ass personality. It
But that's why we like her. But anyways, so what happens is that as they're going on, like she is like they actually end up getting eaten by this giant curse, and she's susceptible to the curse, but Yuta isn't. So basically Yuta has to summon Rika on his own or else they're not going to make it. And he does. And that's kind of like his breakthrough.
mm,
And it's also kind of his breakthrough to get closer to Maki,
yeah.
Inumaki, and
So
Panda.
the relationship between Maki and Yuta is very interesting because it's very fleshed out, and you actually kind of get a vibe from it.
Mm.
But it's not inherent. So it's like there's like subtle romantic overtones, but
Hmm.
nothing like major. Because let's face it, his only love is dead, and that's all it's gonna be.
Yeah. And I do really like I love that they all
I like
accept
that
him.
she accepts him there and then when she realizes what he truly is.
Yeah. And then so after that they're training, he's getting better. And they end up going on another mission, except now he's with Inumaki. And their mission originally was not
Salmon.
supposed to be intent. Yes, salmon. Those salmon monsters. But then, of course, there is actually a high level curse spirit that takes them quite a bit to defeat. And it wasn't planned, and it turns out it was all sabotaged by Satoru Gojo, which from the
Yes.
series, he's Monkman. If you don't know, he's Monkman. And this is before basically this was his first plot to kind of defeat the Jujutsu sorcerers. Um because he's a curse wielder. Um so they're attacked by that, and it leads into kind of you get a little more backstory on. Oh, I said Gojo. I meant to say Suguru Gato. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was a little
Um,
confused there for a minute. I was like,
yeah,
I don't
no,
remember
I
Gojo.
no.
I don't
Well,
remember
the thing
Gojo
is
doing
like,
this.
why do their names sound so like
Well,
Satoru Gojo, Suguru Gato?
don't they have a deep like backstory, the two of them?
Well,
Like,
so they went to school together, and they actually. We don't know fully yet, but that it's implied that they were really. What the? All right, she's playing with her donut. Oh God, she's doing the psycho. So they were friends, and the only difference is that Suguru Gato has just very different ideals than Gojo, and that's what kind of drew them apart. But they still, like I
they're
like
very
in the
much two sides of the same coin.
yeah, very strong, very powerful. Um, but you basically find out he was banished from the school after killing like hundreds of people. And he actually started a cult to help troubled people. But in reality, it's so he can absorb those cursed spirits using his technique. And basically his whole plot is
Is
that
it weird to me that this movie had more fan servicey moments than the slime movie did?
No, I don't think you're wrong.
Because I know the scene where he removes that curse from the woman, like,
Oh
but
yeah,
that has like the back issues, and I'm like sitting here going like, I basically
that's a lot.
I was my response when I saw that was literally lovely, and
Yeah.
just moved on.
And originally, Gato actually attempts to get Yuta on his side so he can make use of Rika, but Yuta obviously refuses because he doesn't want someone to use, Rika or hurt his friends. So basically, Gato's like, all right, whatever, I'm just going to take fucking Rika for myself. But it doesn't work out for him. And it basically leads into this huge battle with curse users versus sorcerers, and they
And we
actually
get a
end up
very brief cameo from the other school.
Yeah, the other school well, that's kind of where you see because one of the characters, I'm forgetting his name, but he's my favorite, he's my best boy.
Oh, the macho one.
Oh, why do I always forget his name? He's like my favorite freaking character. Toto. Sorry, I always forget his name. I don't know. I just gotta think of Africa when I think of him.
My
Like
best
Toto,
friend.
my best friend. I like a girl with a big old ass. um, so this is actually where he actually gets like his kind of record for it helps him become the level he is because he ends up saving a lot of people in this. But basically, it's actually all a setup, and Gato used this as a way of getting the sorcerers distracted so that he can actually go after Yuta and steal Rika. And Gato doesn't believe that like Yuta can fully let Rika go and unleash her full power, but he does, and he because he's enraged by his friends getting hurt, and he promises himself as a sacrifice to Rika if she unleashes her full power to defeat Gato. And then Gato ends up getting fatally wounded. He's not dead though yet because,
It's almost like there's a whole series that takes place after this.
yeah, and he's found by Gojo. Um and that's where you kind of see that they have a relationship. And at the end, like, Gojo actually confirms that Yuta was the one who, like, Rika didn't curse herself to stay, like, he inadvertently cursed Rika, uh and he was just unable to accept her death, like he just couldn't accept it,
Almost
which
like they
is
were still children at
no,
the time.
yeah, and it's like really, and it really, like, he loves her so much, and like he couldn't accept death, and it's actually very, like, you know, I mean,
It's weird how
there's no
wholesome.
curses in this world, but like it is like something that I think a lot of people could
Well,
understand. Accepting the death of someone is
so
something a
it's
lot of people
really
can relate to.
weird for this is a very dark movie, like
Oh
for
yeah.
anime standards, but it has such a wholesome, like, overarching, like, kind of background plot going on
Yeah.
at the same, because the whole thing is about like it's like wholesomeness and like friendship and love in the background of this really fucked up dark shit, because Jujutsu Kaisen is just fucked up and dark.
Hmm.
But
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, and then basically that's kind of where the movie ends. Yuta
Well, you
ends
get
up
the scene
breaking
of
the curse.
yeah, where and then she
Where and she
becomes like,
becomes like herself, like she's no longer the curse, like she's just Rika. And she ends up being able to pass on. So I don't know how that will affect his. I haven't fully. Well, I was reading the manga, but then Viz decided to change how it works. So,
you can
um,
read it again because I have the new
oh, I
thing.
can. Okay, so I can get
You
back
need
into
to,
reading it.
well, you have to download the Viz manga app.
Oh, okay.
It's
I
like
will
literally the
download.
same thing. It just
Okay, I gotta do that then. Um, but I'll do that. Anyways, back on topic, but I'll need to see because it says he continues his sorcerer training. So I think it is mentioned though he does have some innate sorcerer ability based off because isn't he like a distant relative of Gojo? Don't they say that? I think they do.
he's
It's like a
relative to
distant.
somebody.
I think it was Gojo because I think he's like, and that means we're cousins, like second cousins or something. Um, But I thought this one was probably the most well-rounded movie. I don't know. I really
Oh,
enjoyed this one.
as a movie, this one was definitely the most put together,
And
like
this
from
one had a
beginning to end.
theatrical release as well.
It did. Well, I think Slime had like a mini release, but that one also had like a stealth drop on us, like we didn't expect it.
This one had a full-blown release though in America. Because I
I
remember
know.
this one was in the movie theaters, but at the time I think I had only just started watching the series, so I didn't I didn't feel right about going to see the movie.
My only complaint about this film, not enough Miwa.
She did appear in it, right?
Yeah, she appears for like one scene.
Yeah, so be happy. I mean,
not enough.
I
Not
didn't get
Miwa.
Togepi Yuji, so I'm
I'm
pretty
being
upset.
sarcastic.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I'm being sarcastic.
Shut up. Shut up.
So
shut up.
rude. But anyway, so I guess going over the three films, obviously this
you
one was.
You can't compare any of them because they're all just so different.
That's the part of this series.
What?
That's the point of this series.
I thought it was just to watch a movie.
It is, but it's also so we can just talk about things that don't go together. It's like anime swap, but with movies.
I quit. No, I quit this podcast.
All right, so how many times has Alex quit now? Like this has to be like the 12th time. And now she's dying in the corner.
Hey, I can't help it. I'm not feeling great.
I'm aware.
And I still did this podcast with you, Bill. And you don't appreciate it. That's why I need to unionize myself.
So for a second, I thought you were serious there. And then immediately I was like, okay, she's full of shit.
I'm going on strike. I'm going on strike.
So anyways, so the three films, it's obvious Jujutsu Kaisen 0 was the best overall film.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I would say it's honestly the backwards order of what we watched. I'd say Jujutsu Kaisen, Slime, and then Sailor Moon. That's what I would rank it.
Slime would be a better film if it wasn't for that fucking ending, but also
yeah, honestly, I'd put Slime on like not the same level. Honestly, the Jujutsu Kaisen one is just on a different level.
So this is how I'll describe it. Jujutsu Kaisen as a film is like the best.
Yeah.
Entertainment wise, I think Slime is probably the most entertaining of the three.
Yeah, and Sailor Moon is for Sailor Moon fans.
Yeah,
that's basically who it's for. I wouldn't recommend if you're not a fan of Sailor Moon. I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, it's not going to make any sense. You're better off watching one of the original series films, just because those are so standalone. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I would. I agree.
The thing with the Sailor Moon Eternal was, as someone who had seen the original series, it was a fascinating kind of nostalgia trip just to see.
Yes.
But overall, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
They were fine. Nothing, not bad, not
great.
amazing. Just fun.
You know, if you're, it's what I said. If you're a fan of Sailor Moon, give it a watch. If you're not,
I didn't. Okay. So I was never bored watching it. So that's usually a good sign. But it's not something I'm probably gonna watch again, just because I'm like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that interested in watching Sailor Moon Crystal in general.
Yeah, I'd rather blame you for that.
I'd rather just watch the original series because it's dumb, but at least it's a fun kind of dumb.
A fun kind of dumb, a dumb kind of fun.
Yeah, but Slime definitely was entertaining. Like that film, other than the annoying climax, was a joy to watch because all the characters are just wonderful.
Yeah.
And Jujutsu Kaisen was just a good film overall.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would recommend definitely the latter two though overall.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're on the same page. Wow.
But yeah, so I guess we're moving.
That was in honor of Flow. Meow.
I think the next time we'll be talking about anime, I believe. So we have our next swap planned.
We do?
Yeah, more on that off camera.
Okay. I didn't realize we did. So you must have decided on
No,
one.
you decided.
Oh, I didn't think. Well, you never actually confirmed it. All right. I think I know what we're talking about.
But although I think the next
only people who watch the show will kind of get that, or they won't because I'm sick brain.
I'm pretty sure you're the only person that's watched that show at this point.
Go fuck yourself. It's a great show.
I know, and that's why we're gonna finally do it. But I do think though the next time we talk about anime, we're actually gonna be doing a retrospective.
Yeah.
More on that later about a certain series involving humans turning into animals.
And baskets of fruit. You never looked at my cursed image.
Way to just give it away right there.
Well, you kind of did already. Bill, you never commented on the cursed image I posted today, which it's not even someone made it, but this was a real. Did you look at it?
Yeah, and I didn't know what to say, so I just.
Has anyone ever heard of the Shaggy Dog from Walt Disney?
Yes.
Why did they give the dog such human eyes? And that's the real poster.
I don't know. But anyways, guys.
Kermit.
Once again, Kermit falls from roof.
Suicide.
I'm actually a little concerned.
Check out the server!
In hindsight, I'm actually a little concerned Kevin posted that.
Kevin, are you okay? Are you okay, Kevin?
I'm sure he's fine. but we'll talk to him again soon. But anyways, guys, shout out to Snickerman, by the way.
Yes.
But anyways, guys, once again, thanks for watching or listening. We're a YouTube show now, I guess.
No, what? No.
We're falling apart.
We're not being fucking YouTube.
We completely just fell apart here. Once again, guys, thanks for listening to the Gaming Collecting Podcast. The Gaming Collecting Podcast can be found on all your major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify. We are made on Spotify for podcasters, RIP Anchor, and
fuck you.
Yeah,
Anchor.
you. And yeah, you can follow us on all the social medias like Twitter, Instagram,
fuck you, Twitter,
Good Pods.
Fuck you, Good Pods.
You really shouldn't say these things.
All right, I take it all back. I've never said that. I love them all, except for Anchor because it doesn't exist anymore.
It's
so there's
Spotify
nothing to
for
love.
Podcasters now, but
it's not the same. They took
our
ads.
Yeah, they did. We should probably cash that out at some point, but
yes.
Oh yeah, and so to wrap this up, though, you can also follow us on the official Discord server for the podcast. That is the Gaming Collecting Fan Discord server, and you can find all our applicable links at linktree/thebarberwhogames. And until next time, guys, we will see you all next time.